Thank you for listening to a nighttime adventure bedtime story from nighttimeadventures.com. Visit our website to view hundreds of exciting bedtime stories for children of all ages.
The Nighttime Adventures of Molly, the Bubble. Molly had always loved to imagine herself going on adventures, and her dreams often took her to incredible places. But nothing could have prepared her for what happened one night when she fell asleep. As soon as she closed her eyes, Molly felt herself being lifted up into the air by a giant bubble. The world around her turned into a blur of colors and shapes as she floated higher and higher into the sky. At first, Molly was terrified. She had no idea where the bubble was taking her, or what would happen when she got there. But as she looked around at the incredible views below her, she started to feel a sense of excitement and wonder. For what seemed like hours, Molly soared over mountains and oceans, watching the world pass beneath her in a blur of green and blue. She saw cities and towns spread out like toy blocks, and watched as airplanes and birds flew past her in the sky. As Molly continued to float in her bubble, she felt a sudden shift in the air, as if a wind had started to blow her in a new direction. She looked up to see a flock of birds flying in formation, their wings flapping in perfect unison. Without thinking, Molly urged the bubble forward, chasing after the birds with all her might. As she got closer, she saw that the birds were headed for a vast forest in the distance, and she felt a sudden urge to follow them there. As she neared the forest, the bubble started to descend, and Molly realized that she was approaching the treetops. She could see the leaves rustling in the wind, and the branches swaying back and forth as if they were alive. Without warning, the bubble burst, and Molly found herself falling through the air towards the ground. She closed her eyes and braced for impact, but instead of crashing into the forest floor, she felt herself being caught by a pair of strong, furry arms. As she looked up, she saw that she had been caught by a family of monkeys, who had been watching her from the treetops. They chattered and hooted excitedly as they carried her deeper into the forest, showing her all the wonders of their home. For hours, Molly explored the forest with her new monkey friends, swinging through the trees and discovering all kinds of strange and wonderful creatures. And as the night wore on, she began to realize that there was no adventure she couldn't handle, as long as she had the courage to follow her heart and explore the world around her. Finally, as the first light of dawn started to creep over the horizon, Molly felt herself being lifted back into a new bubble, ready to head back home. But as she soared through the sky towards her bedroom window, she knew that she would never forget the incredible adventure she had just been on, and that there were still so many incredible things waiting for her to discover in the world beyond.